if they made Leviathan a sailing fight? Let's dive in.
Sailing introduced a lot of incredible new content, like adventuring Gielinor in a totally new way, dozens of new islands to explore, and many new training methods. But there's one part that many players feel is a bit underwhelming: the ship's combat system. And there has been a ton of community discussion on ways to improve it. And today,
chat, is the ship combat system underwhelming in RuneScape for sailing? Can we all agree we need some changes? A little bit more. We need a little bit more. Okay, we're all in agreement. Good. 70% vote has passed. Let's continue.
We're going to put those ideas to the test. But of course, we need something exciting to try them on.
These animations are so sick. Look at this.
We've actually developed an entirely simulated experience of what the future of sailing could look like, with unique boss mechanics, better cannons, and more combat options.
What the hell? This is crazy. There are people that love this game so much. They're like, hey, Jagex, we did your job for you. Look at what sailing could have been. Here's a fully simulated, better version of what you guys did. This is like... The gaming communities have some talented ass people, and I'm wondering, how are you guys not working for the actual gaming company? But like this happened for World of Warcraft on private servers. They called it Turtle WoW. And the Turtle WoW Classic Plus was better than Season of Discovery, which was supposed to be like a test Classic Plus kind of thing. And everybody's like, yo, Jagex, they have what we want. Can we please have it? And in Blizzard, can we have what they got going on over there? Blizzard was like, no. And a matter of fact, we're going to sue them and make them take it down. So this happens a lot where like there's some talented ass people out there that make really cool versions of the game on private servers.
But first, we need to talk about the problems players have with sailing combat in its current form. As it stands, the player really only has two offensive options. You can either attack monsters with your cannon yourself, or assign one of the many crewmates that you can hire to do it for you, allowing you to attack with your own mage or range weapons. But monsters out at sea take heavily reduced damage from non-cannon based sources. This leads us into the first of two major community concerns with sailing combat. Even a maxed character with the highest tier of cannon, the Dragon Cannon and Dragon Cannonballs, can only hit a max of 46, and that's with a ranging pot boost. Combine that with a 5-tick attack speed and the cannon only being able to attack enemies on one side of the ship at a time, and that shiny Dragon Cannon is feeling a little lackluster. The first and most obvious improvement is simply increasing the damage. 73, let's go. You know, these cannonballs are like 2,000-3,000 GP each. They better be hitting some 70s.
Yeah, for real, with a $1 billion boat, you know.
We roughly doubled it here as the range felt appropriate for the highest tier cannon and cannonball to fall in line with the other strongest weapons in the game.
This is crazy.
The next step is improving the cannon targeting.
Look how sick that looks.
Cannons can only hit targets on the same side of the ship that they are facing, which really just results in players doing this boat dance to try and get access to both cannons on one target. So let's allow them to attack in a 360-degree field of view. Yeah, it looks a little weird, but honestly, like it really doesn't feel that strange in the context of RuneScape for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you can get past
I don't care about that.
It doesn't really make sense.
Chat, do we need our boat to be hyper realistic? Do we care that it's shooting a 180 bullet? Do we care? Do we care that the game is not perfectly realistic? You guys really think RuneScape is realistic? I don't really care. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't really care that you're shooting off the left side of your ship. You know what I mean?
It does just feel a lot better. It literally just eliminates the clunkiness of cannons. The cannons just work.
This immediately felt way better to play, but does have the downside of looking a little bit goofy with cannons shooting out the back.
Okay. A compromise would be, let us put the cannons on one side of the boat. Why would that be a bad idea? There's nothing wrong with that idea. That's a compromise.
attack, albeit not much more goofy than the boat dance, and there are far stranger projectile animations currently in the game. Another solution that has been suggested a lot is to just take both cannons and put them on one side of the ship.
The boat will tip over.
All right, so now we've
Stop
got
the cap,
both
bro.
of them on one side. Technically, like, the same amount of damage as long as you're always facing the right direction. And the pros to this is it does look better if you ignore, you know.
Yeah, obviously, if this were in the game for real, the ship model would
Look
need
at
to
that.
get updated.
Oh, they did it. They did both cannons on the same side. Looks good.
Have multiple of those little
Cutouts.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, this would look better. But the second your target is on the other,
but then you lose half your DPS if you have to turn and go the other direction. Now we've got an issue. Unless we could do 4 cannons on a boat and you actually had to interact like a prayer swap to shoot cannons off the left side, and that would add more APM to the combat system, making it more interesting. Moving your players around to shoot on different sides of the ship could add elements of APM to the combat system, making it more unique, in-depth, and add more variety to the bosses and the mechanics that could come in the future, potentially, if you were to add 4 cannons to the boat and allow the micromanagement of people shooting the cannons on which side of the boat at each time to add more DPS to the left side of the boat if you're getting overwhelmed on the left side. But if you're going to do a U-turn, you have to move them while doing U-turns at the same time, and that could add really dynamic for awaken fights. And then you could be doing circles while multi-clicking like Port Hazard, moving guys around to shoot at all point in times, adding high APM, making the combat extremely diverse and intricate. And people can be like, man, I didn't know that sailing combat could be this crazy. Adding 2 cannons on each side of the boat really changed the game here. And now I'm like fully immersed in the Matrix, completely dove in, clicking absolutely like crazy. And I got to listen to a No Monkey video about how it could be better.
other side of the ship, you're out of luck.
Type shit.
This is a pretty valid solution, but now it has the drawback of limiting what side of the ship can really be used for combat, and it's going to restrict some things that we want to try later. So the last potential solution is just add more cannons. Let's put 2 cannons on both sides of the ship.
I just
Before we
said
get to
this.
that-
I literally just said this, and I was just talking about AG1, how they don't sponsor me, and how I'm like waiting for that sponsor to come in. That's what exactly I was thinking too.
A quick word from today's sponsor, AG1. Going into 2026, I'm going to be making a real effort to get in better shape and be healthier overall. And if I'm being honest, the thing that I've always struggled with the most is consistency. That's where AG1 has fit in really nice for me. I just make gifts for new subscribers. Go check it out. Now back to sailing combat. All right, so now this just looks insane. So now we have 4 cannons.
This is what I was thinking, except you can only have 2 people manning the cannon, and swapping people to each side of the cannon and steering the boat would add more dynamic clicks. So you're having to tell 2 guys which cannons to shoot, and moving them back and forth could be where the whole difficulty of the sailing combat comes in.
Always at least 2 cannons attacking no matter what direction I'm facing.
This is kind of like the best of all the things where it's like you always guarantee you get 2 cannons firing, but also if you have targets on multiple sides of your ship, you can still attack from both sides.
But this is honestly just kind of insane. Like, look at this boat. There is so much going on.
It is a little insane.
Not to mention, you have to buy 4 cannons now.
I mean, hey, if you want to spend the money, go for it.
This certainly works, and I can't lie, having 4 cannons is pretty sick. But the boat is starting to get a bit cluttered, and the drop rate of a dragon cannon barrel is 1 in 20,000. It's just not realistic to expect players to get 4
Yikes.
of them. Good luck, Iron Man. So of these 3 options, I think the 360-degree cannon seem to be the best solution, as it's both the simplest implementation for Jagex and has the least amount of drawbacks. And at least for me personally, I really wasn't bothered by the cannon shooting backwards, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Would that bother you too much to be a solution? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, now that we've improved the cannons, let's take a look at
I don't think that the 360 thing was a big deal, but I am concerned with the lack of the lack of skill expression in boat combat that would make it too simple. Too simple is a bad thing. Too hard is also a bad thing. Allowing players to express that they are more skillful than others with the mechanics that are allowed is where the game exists. Like, that's where it should be. So you need some sort of skill expression there. And right now I'd be concerned that if you just let the cannon shoot automatically on any side of the ship, that the only skill expression is your ability to steer the boat. which is not enough.
The second major issue players have. Currently, there's no way to prevent damage, meaning the combat doesn't really have any complexity to it since the player doesn't have any active defensive options.
Exactly.
We can look to land combat for some inspiration here. At 43 prayer, the
Prayer
player
overheads.
unlocks-
That's what I'm saying. There should probably be able to use overheads. You should probably be able to flick offensive prayers on the boat. Something like that, and then maybe moving your guys around on the ship can also be another element of clicks that you can add difficulty to the fights.
Protection prayers, allowing you to prevent damage from all 3 combat styles. And Leviathan's main volley attack randomly cycles between range, mage, and melee. So let's see how flicking prayers feels while on a boat. Oh my god, this is immediately like so fun. He has a melee one, right? It's not just range and mage? Okay, there it is. There's the melee. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, so like protection prayers on the boat is a little weird, but it is really fun.
Oh my god, it's so fast! Oh no, oh no.
You have to steer the boat and do protection
God.
prayers at the same time.
Pretty good at it. You know, if you get over the fact that it's a little bit weird, like it is just a lot of fun, and it's such a core staple of combat to begin with that why can't your boat have a protection prayer?
Going into this test,
I think if the boss maybe was attacking you at some points and then it was attacking your boat at some points, maybe you don't have to flick prayers for when it's attacking your boat, and it would make more sense when it's attacking you. And then you have to kill the boss before your boat dies or something like that.
I was really unsure how it would feel both thematically and mechanically using prayers while sailing, but I believe it fits pretty nicely into the combat loop. The one thing that was immediately obvious though is if you're switching prayers while moving, it does make it a lot more difficult to keep the boss on screen. So being conscious about when you need to move is important, since the boat wants to just keep going forward.
I mean, it would make sense to
unless
me.
Intentionally stopping it. It is, however, important to remember that we're testing this on a boss where it was already
Yeah, like imagine your boat is your Zuck shield. If your boat dies, you die. So you need to either bring enough repair kits to repair your boat during the fight, and that will keep, what do you call it? Like it's a gold sink. That's a gold sink. And you need some kind of gold sinks when you're fighting, you know, whether it's food or prayer pots or something. You need gold sinks when you're doing boss kills. It can't just be like pure profit. So that could be like some kind of gold sink where you're having to keep your boat repaired during these fights. So the boss can swap between attacking your boat and attacking you. When it's attacking you, then you could do prayer swaps. And then when you need to do damage with your cannons, it'll force you to turn around, which could force you to have to move your crewmates to the other side of the boat. And then the more that you have to move your crewmates, that's more APM, so it adds difficulty to the fight. So I think we're cooking with this.
Specifically designed with prayers in mind, but I think that same design philosophy can be applied to future sailing bosses as well. The next feature we're going to test is different ammunition types, and in this case, Jagex has actually already shown off some potential concepts we can work with here. The incendiary ball and the chain ball. While fighting Leviathan, he will keep increasing his attack speed each time he roars. This speed will continue to accumulate until he reaches an attack every tick. However,
Okay. Also, yes, one of the levels of skill expression that's missing in sailing is the ability to swap your attack style, like melee, ranged, and magic. You need to be able to swap attack style at some point to add more skill expression to the fight. So if you're having to swap out cannonballs, maybe that could work and do different styles of types of damage to the boss, because he'll be more weaker to different types of damage at certain points in time.
However, you can reset this by stunning him with a shadow spell, allowing you to circle behind and hit this weak spot to reset his attack speed and spawn a special attack.
Special
So in our
attack?
case, let's use the chain ball to chain Leviathan down and replicate this same behavior. We've added a toggle to switch
Whoa.
between ammo types in the UI.
That looks
then
like
we
some
chain
pair
him
of
down
nuts.
And quickly use a wind mote to get behind him and crit. Both thematically and gameplay-wise, this moment feels great and immediately felt like a natural part of this boss encounter. After he's crit, he spawns a special attack, which helps us perfectly transition into the next most obvious way to prevent damage: avoidable attacks. Leviathan has 2 special attacks that he alternates between. The first is a huge lightning cone in front of him that follows you, and the second is a massive explosion, which is normally avoided by standing behind these falling rocks that he spawns. But in our case, I think it makes more sense to have the rocks sink and then use the environment to replicate the safety. alongside some other movement-based attacks like a tornado that chases you and an orb that you have to stay near. And this is where I think sailing combat can really shine, as the speed and movement of sailing is easily the most enjoyable part. If you have done the Barracuda trials, you know just how fun it is to fly through them. Alright, so let's put it all together now and see what a Leviathan fight can really look like on the open seas.
Okay.
Let's do this. 700 times a charm. Yeah, dude, lots of the same color in a row. That's what I need.
Easy mode.
Okay, that felt pretty clean.
This is super clean. This is really, really good.
This is really cool to imagine
Look in
Leviathan
there.
in the water
Perfect.
like
He's
this.
changed.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh,
Didn't miss
the
any of
ch-
those flicks either.
the
That was really
chain?
good.
Winmo, get behind him. Oh, don't get hit by
No,
that.
he didn't get behind him quick enough.
Get behind him.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
good.
okay,
Nice.
okay.
Nice.
We're good. We're good. We're good. We're chilling.
This is sick.
This is good. This was way better than last attempt.
About to be half health soon. The tornado
So
will
that's when the
spawn.
tornado.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go for it now.
Yep, perfect.
Go, 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 go.
Good.
Chain shot him. Hello? Why is... Okay, there we go. Chain shotted. Switch ammunition back. And then where do I want to be? I want to be over there. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna make it.
perfect. No, you'll make it. You trust, believe.
Okay, we're good. We're
You're good,
good.
you're
We're
good,
chilling.
you're good.
We're chilling.
Perfect.
All right, dodge the
easy.
explosion.
Okay.
Get back in there.
You've got 500 health to enrage him. So just keep
Okay.
watch his health bar at the top. 540
I'm
is
watching,
the
I'm
number
watching.
you're looking for.
Okay,
One
stop
more hit.
now. Oh, maybe that was a little too
Uh-oh,
soon.
uh-oh.
Okay, go forward. Go forward.
Perfect, perfect.
Don't forget to pray.
Just focus
I like
on
the
Sorry.
music. I like the music.
Just stay with the thing. I'm getting too fast. I need to slow down. Don't forget prayers. Go forward again.
You got it, you got it, you got it.
The boat's almost
Come on,
dead.
die. Please die.
No!
Please die. Please die.
Pray.
Please. Please.
Make-
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't pray in the last hit. It's fine.
Oh my God, I did it.
Nice.
He had like 10 HP, not even.
Oh, that was so hard, but so satisfying. Let's go. This video was a ton of fun to make, and this boss fight was so awesome to play. It's actually insane how many things about Leviathan just sort of work when you throw them in the ocean.
Damn.
And there's still so many cool ideas people have had that we just didn't have a chance to cover in this video. So if you'd like to see a part 2, like the video and leave any suggestions down in the comments. And if you want to see more simulation videos, we have a bunch you can watch, like this one, where we
I
take
have that
the
one
11
queued up. I never
original
watched
bosses
it.
from the first year of OSRS and pit them against each other.
That's pretty sick. Yo, that is one of the coolest simulations. They completely developed Leviathan with RuneScape sailing. How did they... I don't even know how they do this kind of thing. Like, they literally remade RuneScape in a simulation for a Leviathan fight. That was incredible. I mean, those guys, those are the kind of guys that probably just need to be working over there at the Jagex headquarters. I imagine they might be reaching out to them. That's pretty damn sick that they were able to design something like that. It looks amazing too. The graphics looks very old school RuneScape, but more polished. That's that was really cool. That was a cool talk to think about, like how you could maybe make sailing combat a bit more exciting. I did like the idea of using overhead prayers, and then maybe the boss attacks your ship instead of you. So maybe we'll see something very similar. Maybe Jagex will take some inspiration from that video, and we'll give them some feedback, and we'll see how they move forward with sailing in the future.